Taiwanese typhoon. On August 9, 2015, a car was seen driving down a road in Tainan City, a region near the southwestern area of Taiwan. What would seem like an average day would turn into one of the most horrific sights for the passengers of this car. Just a day earlier, a typhoon had hit the eastern coast of Taiwan, traveling at speeds up to 150 miles per hour, and unfortunately for the driver, it had just arrived right on top of them. Because of the typhoon, road conditions were extremely hazardous. The ground was slippery, and hunks of debris flew across the sky like bullets. The event that happens next, however, would send shivers down everybody's spine. Seconds after the car passes them, a violent vortex appears right behind them, and at an instant, the van in front of them is swiftly picked up and dragged across the ground. A passenger of the van is then seen launched and laying on the ground after jumping out of the van, which in response, the driver is seen jumping out of the vehicle and running to help them. It is still unsure to this day what happened to the other passengers of the van. This is just one of many horrific sightings caught on live dashcam, and stay till the end for one so unsettling that it genuinely changed my entire perspective of life while I was making this video. Sunglass Goose! Sunglass Goose! National Airlines Flight 102. On April 29, 2013, a plane carrying 5 heavy armored vehicles along with other military equipment had finished its first flight from Camp Bastion, a military base in Afghanistan, and had arrived to the Bagram Air Base, also in Afghanistan. After a quick refuel, the plane got ready for takeoff and swiftly lifted into the air. However, for some reason, the angle that the plane was pointing in was 15 degrees steeper than it should have been. Luckily, it was able to launch into the sky and reach its destination within hours. Is what I would say if it weren't for a tiny problem, which ultimately ended in a scene nobody could have imagined. You see, the crew members inside of the plane had forgotten to do one thing. The vehicles inside of the plane were not yet properly secured and seatbelted to the ground. So when the plane took off and proceeded to steepen its angle, one of the vehicles snapped free and rolled across the plane like a loose boulder, slamming into the rear end of the plane. Because of this, the entire aircraft had literally become impossible to fly, and on the footage, could eerily be seen tilting and gliding in the air, attempting to maneuver its way safely to the ground. However, within seconds, tragedy would unfortunately hit. The scariest part about the whole ordeal is that it was later proven that the simple action of tightening the safety belts would have saved the plane from crashing and everyone's lives in it. All 7 crew members died on impact. Russian highway. A 25-year-old was driving his Audi RS5 across the M12 high-speed motorway in the regions of Moscow. For the sake of this video, we'll call him Mikhail. Mikhail was known for being quite reckless on the road, with his record racking up to over 100 traffic violation fines. On some occasions, he was even caught driving his car over 300 kilometers an hour, or almost 190 miles per hour, a speed nowhere near safe for public roads. On September 24, 2024, when driving on the high-speed motorway, it's estimated that the young man was cruising at approximately 270 kilometers an hour, or 168 miles an hour, faster than the winds from the typhoon you saw earlier. As he was driving, a truck in front of him suddenly switched to the left lane, the exact lane Mikhail was driving in. Within an instant, Mikhail's RS5 crashed into the truck's rear, shattering like thin glass in a blink of an eye. The force was so brutal that the car instantly stuck to the back of the truck as if it was just welded onto it. Man in hell. As of recent years, wildfires in the US, specifically ones in California, have become much more common than usual, thanks to factors like climate change and California's dry environments. In August 2020, the dashcam footage taken cannot be described as anything other than unsettling. Over the span of 2 days prior to the recording, an event known as the LNU Lightning Complex smited down the entirety of Northern California. Thousands of lightning strikes were recorded to have hit across the area, And because of California's known environment to be extremely flammable, dozens of small fires sparked simultaneously. As these fires spread, they soon met and merged together to create one horrific blaze. The weather at the time barely helped at all, blowing the fires across canyons and steep terrain. And sure enough, more roads, homes, and other areas along places like Highway 128. It would be very unfortunate that Tyler Day, the person who caught the dashcam footage, would be traveling on that same exact highway. In the dashcam footage, it starts with him driving past a huge fire to his left, which is already alarming enough. But as he continues further, what he sees can only be described as hell on earth. It's truly disturbing how a couple small things such as a little fire could ever lead to something so catastrophic and devastating. Stay safe, folks.